Welcome everyone to the Uncaged Dog. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today, as if you're watching me live, you would be used to me doing it last year with a mic. But today I don't have that mic hooked up. I redid my office and I'm going to have to do it with a gaming headset. Anyways, let's move on. This is going to be the picks of the week. I did miss the Green Bay Chicago pick. I didn't get this podcast up, but we're going to go ahead and go over that game. I would have picked Chicago anyway, and I would have been wrong. So it really doesn't matter. It would have been a zero anyway. Um, in that Green Bay game, it really showed us both teams. Aaron Rodgers did not look like the same quarterback that he did 3 years ago. Um, so, in that, I think Green Bay's not as good as some people said, and I know that Chicago's not going to be as good as people said because of their quarterback situation. So, I'm thinking right now Minnesota's the team to beat there. Now, you guys are going to be listening to this, and I'm going to have some hindsight and some knowledge of seeing two teams in the division for that division. We're going to see what they were before I got you guys got to hear my picks. But anyways, we're going to go over the week one picks. We're going to tell you who I think's going to win the lock of the week and the close game. There's going to be one game here that could go either way, and some people may be shocked by what I say. Okay, let's dive right into it. You guys know this is a Cleveland Browns based podcast. It is what it is. I'm going to be biased, but I try not to be. But we're going to go into the first game of today, the LA Rams versus Carolina. This game is something that people think Cam Newton's going to come out and dominate. I'm going to say something that a lot of people aren't going to like. Goff is a better quarterback than Newton. Newton is a better leader than Goff. There's a difference in that mentality when you go to, let's say, when the game's on the line, I would take Newton. But as the game stat man and driving touchdowns during the game, Goff is just a better quarterback. Now, in the last 45 games, the difference is Cam Newton has thrown more interceptions. They both have thrown 65 touchdowns in the last 45 games that they played. Now, the record is Goff is 24-14, Newton is 23-21. I don't blame that on Newton totally, as he's been on some teams that's been like, but I believe Goff is a better ball manager, should I say. He's got better decision making, and a lot of people might disagree with that. I think this game is going to go to LA. I think LA's team is a better team. They got a lot more options to control the clock. They have a running back room that's loaded. So I'm going to say that it's going to be LA. I'm not going to give you scores. I'm just going to say LA is going to win this game. So now we're going to go on to the game that everyone wants to hear from me. We're talking about Cleveland and Tennessee. This is a home opener for the Browns. Baker Mayfield is a man on fire waiting to play this game. He just loves the game. He just wants to play. A lot of people wanted to make a big deal about OBJ coming to the Browns and Mayfield's attitude. And yes, we're talking about Colin. I honestly think that the Browns have one of the most talented key positions in the NFL. Their wide receivers are very, very talented when you go to the top three. When you get to Higgins, Landry, and OBJ. Now, when Callaway comes back, this is going to open up a lot more stuff, but we're not talking about that. That's in 4 weeks. We're talking about today. I think Higgins is actually very underrated, and I think OBJ coming to this team is going to have the OBJ effect on Higgins in a positive way. Higgins is going to be the man that's open, and the man can catch balls. Now, the Juku might get the opposite, where OBJ effect, he's not going to get as many targets. So this Browns offense, I honestly think, is going to walk all over Tennessee's defense. Their defense is good, but I think that the Browns have so many weapons that they can run the ball, they can throw the ball short, they can throw the ball long. You have to almost play them two corners man and hope that they cover Landry and or Higgins or OBJ. You have to. If you play them zones with the route running that you see from Landry and OBJ, they're going to get torn in half. Um, and Mayfield reads defenses. We have not seen a quarterback in Cleveland that can read defenses like Mayfield for years. So in that aspect, I think today it's not going to be OBJ that is the star, even though he is a superstar. He's going to probably get us 80 to 100 yards. I think Higgins is going to make some huge catches, and he's the forgotten man. And in my opinion, I think Higgins is a strong number 2 wide receiver on many, many teams. Now, when we go to the flip side and go to the Browns defense, I don't know why people aren't talking about this Browns defense. On the offensive side, our offensive line is a little bit weak, but I don't see any weakness on this defense. I just don't. The corners are playing well. Greedy's going to come along just fine. Ward is a Pro Bowl caliber shutdown cornerback that we lost when we lost Hayden. The center of the field, the safeties do great. Randall is a Pro Bowl caliber safety. Our linebackers is where a lot of people tell me, guess what, Gary? You're just not going to have the linebackers, and you're not going to be able to stop anything. I don't see us running 3 and 4 linebackers on the field anytime. Maybe 5%, 8% of the time, maybe. I see us running nickel, and our defensive line is scary. Offensive lines are going to have to double Garrett and Vernon somehow, and that's just going to leave holes. So, in that, I think Cleveland wins this game hands down. I don't think it's close like a lot of people are saying. I think this is going to be the coming out party for Cleveland, and the Tennessee Titans are going to be shown that they're not a playoff team this year. I don't think they are with Mariota. I don't think they got a quarterback that can lead this team. He's not accurate enough for me. He's just too injury prone. He can be rattled. He can be. Now I want to go back to the last, 13 games. That's what they're comparing because of Baker Mayfield's only had 13 games. Baker Mayfield in the last 13 games averaged 271 passing yards per game. Mariota 186. Touchdowns to interception rating. We're going to talk about Baker Mayfield, 27 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Mariota, 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. But their passing rating is right around the same, both 93. I just don't see Mariota making the decisions that Baker Mayfield does and Mariota doesn't take the risk to reward that Baker Mayfield. He's not a guy that will shoot it downfield and say, hey, OBJ or Landry or what last year when Callaway, Higgins was open by a step. I don't see Mariota throwing the ball when their wide receivers open by a step. I don't think we're going to see deep balls from Mariota. Mayfield's going to take shots today. Cleveland Browns fans are going to be, and then breathe again. I think Mayfield's decision making is going to be better. He's seen it all. I just don't see this even becoming close. It's going to be one of them games that the Browns fans are going to sit back after halftime and say, we got this. It's going to be the coming out party, not for the offense. People are going to be talking about this defense after this game. All right, let's go ahead. So we have right now the LA Rams and the Cleveland Browns winning, and we're at Kansas City and Jacksonville, and this is the trap game that I'm talking about. Everyone's talking KC. Foles is a good quarterback. He's better than Bortles all the way. Now, here's the scary thing about Jacksonville. It's either they're going to dominate or they're going to lose this game. It's one of them coin flip games to me. I don't think Kansas City is going to be the same team they were last year. I don't see it. I think we're going to see a drop off in quarterback play. They're going to run the ball a little bit more. It's not going to be as high flying. It's just one of them things that Mahomes isn't gonna. He's gonna be great. I think he's gonna be a great quarterback, but I don't think we're seeing 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards this season. I think we're gonna have a drop off. He's gonna be around that 4,000, 4,300 yards, which is still great. But I think he's gonna drop down into the touchdowns into the 30s. People have a year of film on him. It happens. Just like Baker Mayfield, I think in some games he's going to struggle, but Kansas City, I don't think is going to be the same team, but they're going to win that division. Jacksonville is just too much unknown. I think this game could sneak up and really bite Kansas City, but I'm still going to pick Kansas City, but I think it's going to be really close. I think we're going to see some things that make you question going into week 2, Kansas City. Now, the next game is Baltimore versus Miami. This is a lock. Baltimore, even though I'm a Browns fan, is going to walk all over Miami. I think Miami's pitching in the season. I don't care what their coaching staff says. They traded one of the best left tackles in the league. For what? It's hard to find a left tackle. I would have loved for the Browns to trade 2 first-round draft picks for a left tackle of that caliber. You just don't. We've seen a drop-off in Cleveland when Thomas retired. I just don't see Miami even threatening Baltimore in this game. Baltimore's going to look like a superstar game or team, and we're not going to be able to judge who Baltimore is this week. They're going to walk all over Miami. They're going to look better than they are, and people are going to be like talking at the end of this week, Baltimore, Cleveland. That's going to be the AFC North. So this game is just going to be Baltimore walking all over Miami. Now, here's a cool game. Atlanta at Minnesota, I honestly think might be the game of the week. It might be that game that we see, and this game could score 70 to 80 total points. Minnesota and Atlanta are just, I honestly think, full of talent. This is a toss-up game, but I just think Atlanta's going to win it. It's going to come out. It's going to be close. Jones is going to have a big game. The man is talented. I know that he's not going to have tons of touchdowns, but he's going to move them chains. I think this is Atlanta's year. And we'll talk about my picks of the division probably after the games today when I do my reaction podcast. But Atlanta, I think, is going to win this game. So what we're going to do, I just want to tell you guys real quick, is we're going to go and see what my record is every week and go and add on every week. I don't do the points. I don't take points. We're just going to go straight up realistic picking. So I think Atlanta's going to have that game in the bag. But it's going to be a good game. And when you're done watching it, you're going to feel that they both are nice teams. They're both playoff teams. You're not going to have that feeling of like, oh, Minnesota's a joke. Like when Green Bay and Chicago, we come out of that like, what's wrong with Green Bay's offense? And what's wrong with Chicago totally? But was it Chicago's defense that hampered that offense of Aaron Rodgers and Jones? But anyways, you're not going to have that feeling. You're going to feel that both these are quality teams and two of the NFC powerhouses clashed. I'm really excited about that game, but I'm not going to watch it as I'm watching the Browns game. Now, Buffalo versus New York, or the New York Jets. This game was really hard for me, as I do not believe in the quarterback for either team. I think Allen has accuracy issues. And how can I put it? He's in the wrong city for having accuracy issues. When it starts getting cold, snowy, and rainy, that quarterback's got to be more on point, and he's going to struggle. If he was in a stadium, a dome, or in warmer climate, I think you could hide it more. And Sam Darnold, I don't think he's, how should I put it, as accurate and as smart with the ball as people put him out to be. I think he's going to make some bad decisions. He's going to think that he's got some weapons and he can do some things. And I don't know if Bell's going to be right back to what he was, even though Bell is a weapon in himself. But I'm going to say Buffalo is going to win this game, and people are going to question the Jets a little bit in that offense. So we're going to go to another game that I'm actually really excited about. This one here is the Redskins versus the Eagles. This game, the reason that I'm excited about it is I want to see who wins the running back battle in week 1 with Washington, and I want to see what Wentz does. I think Wentz is one of the very talented quarterbacks that got hit with injuries. If he didn't get hit with injuries, he'd be a top 3 quarterback in this league, in my opinion. I'm happy that Cleveland didn't take him because we got Mayfield. I think I like his swagger, I like his talent, but I wanted Wentz in that draft when Wentz came out. I wanted us to go after him so bad. But in this game, I just think Washington's not as talented. It's an easy pick going Philadelphia, but there's a lot of story going on in Washington. I think Peterson is proven he still has it. The man still runs with attitude, but I'm really, really interested in this game. When I flip, I might be flipping to this game to check it out during the timeouts and stuff for the Browns game. But I'm going to pick Philadelphia on that one. The next game is another game I'm going to be watching. It's a 3:00 Central, 4:00 Eastern game. It's the Colts versus the Chargers. Everyone knows that Andrew Luck retired. He had to make a decision that's best for him, which I never doubt a man that makes a decision for himself. It's a health issue, but no one can argue that he is one of the most talented quarterbacks to play the game. You can't take that away from a team without a step down. Philip Rivers is a leader's leader. I think he's one of the best to play the game. Also, this has a lot of storylines with Gordon. I honestly think that the Chargers are going to win. I think it's going to be on the last drive. It's going to be like a field goal wins it, or a touchdown on the last drive wins it for the Chargers. You're going to come out as a feel-good story for the Colts. Losing luck, they almost beat a powerhouse in the Chargers, and it's going to be a feel-good story on both sides, like I said on another game, but the Chargers are going to come out victorious here. The next game, the Bengals versus the Seahawks. This is a lock. The Seahawks are going to walk all over Cincinnati. Cincinnati's not ready for this game. The Green situation is a sad situation because Green is so talented. I think he's very underrated when people talk. When he's healthy, he is a beast of a wide receiver. The injury bug hits us all, and I don't think injury should take away from who you are on the field when you're healthy. So AJ Green feels like he can't stay on the field, but when he is on the field, he's a game changer. And Cincinnati is in a role. Dalton is going to have to be replaced soon. I don't think he's the quarterback that they need. I don't know what to say about Dalton. I don't know how to take him because he plays great sometimes and other times he doesn't. But my feeling here is Seahawks are just too talented. They're gonna win this. This is a hands down, straight up Seahawks. I can almost guarantee this Seahawks win. So let's continue. The Detroit Lions versus the Arizona Cardinals. This is one that Stafford is an amazing quarterback. We're going to go to quarterbacks in week one. They're going to be the game changers, but Arizona is better than people think. I honestly think I'm going to pick Arizona in this game. Murray is going to be but it's going to be, you're going to see both offenses struggle. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, maybe 21 points from one of the teams. But I'm going to take Arizona in this game, and after this game, you're going to feel that Kyle has a future, but you're not going to have that feeling that he's a star. But you're going to have a feeling that, oh, he's got some things to work on, but he's going to be good enough that he's going to be fun to watch. I think that they did the right thing putting Kyle in, going after him this past offseason, and drafting him. I think they made the right decision. So I think Arizona's going to win this game. Detroit, and this is sad coming from a Cleveland fan, is Detroit. Okay. The next game, this one here, I promise you, I literally could have flipped a coin and you're going to go, well, Dallas is better. New York Giants are going to be overlooked by Dallas. Dallas had a lot of drama with the Zeke situation. They're not going to be able to give the ball to Zeke 25, 30 times. Yes, he's been training, but he hasn't been with that team. Barkley is a beast. I'm going to say he's a top 3 running back. Barkley is amazing. Eli Manning, people put him down, but he's smart. He is smart. He might not have a powerful arm and all that jazz, but I'm thinking that Eli Manning turns into a game manager, leans on Barkley, and Dallas struggles with this game but win. I think people at the end of this game looks at New York, says, "Whoa, Barkley's going to carry this team a little bit." And then Daniel Jones is going to come in week 5, week 6, and we're going to be talking about that on a future podcast. So I think Barkley comes out and is Manning's crutch. And he almost single handedly wins this game. And people are going to look at New York Giants and say, maybe they're not as bad. And the Dallas Cowboys this year, loaded with talent, ends up being an 8-8 team this year, but they're going to win week 1. All right, we're going to be talking about the next game. This game is I want to watch it because Tampa Bay is one of them teams that always might have it, end up not having it, and the 49ers, for some reason, I like watching them. This game here is going to be one of them games that you don't want to turn off because it's going to have a lot of, should I say, defensive plays here, but then it's going to have a lot of offense and spurts. It's going to be a fun game, and Garoppolo is going to how should I put it? He's going to put in the minds of people that he's still okay. He's still a good quarterback. I actually like him a lot, and I think that if he could get that team and become a quarterback that can read the field, I think that San Francisco wins this game. Winston is going to be better this year. Arians is going to have him playing ball, but he's going to come up short this game. But Winston, I tell you, by week 10 is going to be in the talks of a top 10 quarterback. He's going to be a different player. I just Arians does it. I don't know. So we pick San Francisco. Now here's the game that all Browns fans are waiting for me to hear. It's got some stories tied to it. We're going to be talking about it again here in a couple games on this list. The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the New England Patriots. This is weird. I don't think AB gets on the field, but what a turn of events. The Pittsburgh Steelers, even as a Browns fan, they find a way to be relevant every year. Ben Roethlisberger is from a town close to where I grew up in Ohio. This game, I don't even know how to say it. I kind of wish AB was going to play for sure. And even though AB, I feel, kind of punked out on his team when it was the Raiders, and he kind of used his complaining, being nice about it. He used his complaining to maneuver to where he wanted to go. I don't like them type of people, but Brown is talented on the football. Now, he did tweet that he's more than just AB, the football player. Well, if what you've shown, AB, off the football field's who you are, you're a terrible person. Sorry. But you are talented, and this changes things for New England. If they can get AB and Josh Gordon to coexist without the locker room issues, that receiving corps is hot. We haven't even talked past them two, but anyways, I'm picking New England here. But Browns fans are going to be mad at me. Steelers are going to show that they still have an offense. I like Connor. Juju is a great wide receiver, and I believe he's going to do fine. But they gotta find someone more than Washington. I don't like Washington. So this game is going to be a wake up call on a lot of things. New England is stacking wide receivers to cover for the aging Brady. It's just what's happening. Brady is one of the best, but he's getting old, and I don't think he's throwing 40 touchdowns this year. That's the issue I see. AB wants the ball. So when you got an aging quarterback that's a great quarterback, I mean, he's better than 95% of the quarterbacks in the league. But I don't see him throwing 40 touchdowns. I see it in the 20s. I don't see him throwing 4,500 yards, and he's got three hungry wide receivers. And I'm not saying hungry by, oh my God, they're going to complain. AB might, but he's got hungry wide receivers. And Brady's not going to put up with it going, I'm going to force it to AB. I'm going to get it to the open man. And how's AB going to deal with that? How is he going to react? Because I don't think a wide receiver runs that team. Tom Brady is the man on the field. So it's either going to be an explosion or an implosion. So I think New England comes out on top on this team, but the Steelers show that they're still relevant. And a relevant team is going to be tough. So we're going to go to another game that people are. This is my shock of the week. We have the Texans versus the Saints. We have Drew Brees, the record-breaking. He's going to own everything. The man is a machine. But I think Houston comes out on top on this game. I think Houston's offense and Watson is just a freak of nature. I really like what I see on the field. Now, Hopkins, how can I put this? Hopkins might be coming out the number one wide receiver in the league. OBJ is my boy. He's on the Browns, but Hopkins might be and I'm sorry, I had someone calling me. Might be the top receiver on yards and catches this year. He's going to be a freak with Watson. And now the running back situation in Houston is like up and down, but they do have Duke Johnson. I think Duke Johnson is a threat. I think he's better than people give him credit for. It's just we were loaded in Cleveland, and he didn't see the field as much, and he wasn't going to see the field that much this year. So I'm going to take Houston Texans and the upset because a lot of people are picking the Saints. Now the last game is going to be the Denver Broncos versus the Oakland Raiders. The other Monday night game, I don't think this is going to be one to watch. The Raiders are a dumpster fire. It's something's going on there. Gruden took over everything, and it shows. And I know you're going to say, well, that's just AB. I think they're going to come out and be the bottom of the barrel next to Miami. Denver's going to win this game. What we're going to find out about this game is Derek Carr, is he going to be Gruden's man? Or is Derek Carr going to be gone by week 3? Joe Flacco, I still think the man's got gas in the tank. I think he's better than anything they had last year. I think Denver Broncos are going to win 7, 8 games this year. So that is my picks of the week. So we had Chicago in week 1. I didn't do a podcast. I couldn't prove it, but they lost. So I'm 0-1 already this year. We have LA Rams. They're going to beat the Carolina Panthers, Cleveland over Tennessee. We got Kansas City over Jacksonville, Baltimore over Miami, Atlanta over Minnesota. Buffalo's going to walk all over New York Jets, in my opinion. I hope they do. But I think Buffalo's going to beat New York. I think Philadelphia is going to beat Washington. The Chargers over at Indianapolis. Seattle is going to walk all over Cincinnati. Arizona is going to beat Detroit. Dallas will beat New York, but New York's going to show some spunk. And San Francisco is going to beat Tampa Bay. New England over Pittsburgh. Houston over New Orleans. And Denver over Oakland. Now, on the reaction video, we're not going to go over all my picks. We'll do that at the beginning of the week next week after the Monday night game or Tuesday. But we will have the Uncaged Dog reaction video of the Browns-Tennessee game tonight after the Browns game. So I want you guys to tune in, and I will have the podcast uploaded as I record it, and I do it live on YouTube. So this is going to be a fun year for us Browns fans. I'm going to call the Browns record being 11-5, winning the North. And that's my prediction for the North. And we got a little bit of time, so let's just go on in, and I'm going to tell you who I think's going to win each division. Now, I'm just a fan. I'm not big-time media. I'm not little-time media. I'm just a fan that likes to record stuff, you know. But the AFC East, I think New England's going to win it. I think they're the most talented team in that division. It's hands down. AFC North, I think Cleveland Browns are going to win that division with an 11-5 record. Now, the AFC South is going to be a toss-up, but I think Houston is going to win that. But I think, and people are going to laugh at me, I think Jacksonville's going to nip. They're going to nip at the heels, but that's going to be an awesome division to watch. Very talented teams throughout that division. The AFC West, I do think the Kansas City Chiefs are the team to beat, but I think the Chargers win that division. I think the Chargers do it. Even with the Gordon situation, I think the Chargers do it. Now, when we go to the NFC East team to beat is Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to win the division. I don't see anyone even challenging them. I think they clinched that division in the week 14. Now the NFC North. I know I live in Green Bay now. I'm supposed to root for the Packers, but I don't. I'm a Browns fan. I'm a dog. So I honestly think Minnesota is the team to beat. I think Minnesota's the most talented team in that division all the way around. They'll win that division. NFC South, we're going ahead and we're going to pick Atlanta Falcons. Now, I know I picked the Falcons over to win today and Carolina to lose, but I think Carolina and New Orleans are fighting it out for second, and they're going to be close. It's going to be another tough division with Tampa Bay being average. The New Orleans Saints, Carolina Panthers, and Atlanta Falcons are good teams. And I think Atlanta's going to come out on top. NFC West, it's the Rams division to lose. They're going to win the division, but that's going to be another great division to watch. And I think Arizona's going to turn some heads. They're going to be fun, not challenged for the division, but they're going to be fun to watch, and they're going to be up-and-comers. So that's my picks of the week. You got my division winners, and we'll test that out. We'll go over that mid-season, and at the end of the season, we'll see how good I am. I'm not going to do Super Bowl picks until after the week one. I want to talk about my Super Bowl picks, and I want to talk about who I think is going to win the Super Bowl. We'll go in more in depth probably with next week's podcast. So, everybody, I thank you for tuning in. I will get this uploaded. My proof that I did this before week one started, well, I didn't because of Chicago Green Bay, is my YouTube channel. So I'm going to get this uploaded, and we're going to watch some football, guys. It's week one. It's week one. No matter who you're rooting for, no matter who you bark for or cheer for or want to win, you guys, it's week one. We have NFL football. There's no better day of the week until there's football playing. So I will check you guys later. We got 20 minutes till kickoff. You guys have fun. All right, I'm out.